Cool. I'm gonna move us along. Thank you, everyone. And that was all from me.
Well, thank you, Andy. And that brings up Alex with an exciting development in LLM router world.
Yeah, let me share my screen here.
Alex is like the sleeper. Like you just don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden he just drops like boom.
Yeah. So what I've been working is some kind of router for prompts, right? I have a demo here. It's better than explain what I'm trying to go into details. I have this ephemeral environment here. So what we're going to do is ask a couple of questions and see Storytell routing that into different LLMs. And I'm going to explain more about the score that we're applying as we go in those interactions. So I'm going to get some. So we have a couple of categories. So we are using data from this artificial analytics AI website. They ranked it. They did benchmarking all of the models, and we are specifically getting the data from the ones that we support here. So they have data about these categories here. So for example, this is the O1 model. They rank that model into like artificial analysis, reasoning knowledge, scientific reasoning, quantitative reasoning, coding, and maths. And they also have a score based on how fast this model is in terms of token per second and how expensive that model is too. So basically, we got the data and we are using that to generate a score and select the best model based on a couple of parameters, right? Some weights that we're adding. So for example, I'm going to start with this question here. Is my screen too small?
No, it's good.
Maybe this is better. Yeah. So when I ask a question like this, which is related to scientific reasoning, we see that it routed directly to the GPT-4o. And there is some detail here in the bottom here that shows that the GPT-4, this is not the final uh, uh, it's not the final screen here where we're going to showing those details. The Rodeo suggests a couple of modifications here, which are very good. So I'm working on that right now. But basically, we are saying that we chose GPT because of it was the best score for scientific reasoning. What happened in the background is that across all the models we support, there are some default weights that we're applying. We determined that GPT-4 was the best one related to quality, cost, and performance. So I can continue this conversation here. As you can see that for simpler tasks, right, it uses GPT-4o mini, which is a cheaper one, because I had a bet again that those weights are applied for every prompt, and prompts are even scored in terms of complexity. So we can see that this is like a very generic question, and we don't need to go to the GPT-4o and pay OpenAI more money for that. If I want like a coding application for this algorithm, it's going to cloud because again, cloud score better for those coding tasks. And we can continue here.
This is so beautiful, Alex.
Cool, right? Um, so again, every time we interact, we are showing, the type of interaction we are doing and the score. And what I'm thinking here is that we might be able to customize this in the future. So I don't know, maybe paid customers might have access to expensive models because right now the filter that I'm applying, I can go to the code here.
While you're doing that, Alex, I just want to make sure that we all understand what's happening here because it's just so fucking amazing. So we are saying that we are using a best-in-class benchmark to look at different types of answers like scientific reasoning versus coding. And then we are using quality, speed, and price as factors and variables. We're analyzing the prompt and we're saying based on what kind of prompt it is and what the best LLM is and how it compares in those three vectors, we're going to choose the best one to answer. Does that make sense to everybody? It's really cool.
And it's in production already, right? Like our LLM.
No, not yet.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But one cool thing that I would like to highlight here is, so let me just show another example here. So I show like categories for all of scientific reasoning, coding, and artificial analysis, right? If I get a different topic like quantitative reasoning here, it's going to ask Gemini, right? But if I try to go like in a very different, as you can see here, the quantitative reasoning was the category I choose here. But if I try a very more complex question in that same topic, it's going to pick another LLM for that.
A slower LLM, apparently.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's Gemini. I'm guessing this
Yeah.
is Gemini.
No, it should work.
I
Maybe.
feel like it didn't submit the prompt.
Yeah.
We've had this issue occasionally. Yeah.
While you're waiting for that, Alex, I posted in Zoom chat my suggested improvement to the LLM pop-up. I'd love, especially for you to look at that and see what opinions you have about
I
that.
gave it a thumbs up already. So
Okay, cool.
on it.
All right.
So you can see here for the same category, different model was using just because we score those prompts, you know, we say this is way more complex than this.
What happens if you posted that now and you said using Claude or Gemini? I'm curious what the button says.
Like if I ask the same question,
Yeah, but
asking
with that
Gemini,
you're using, yeah, using Gemini, blah blah blah.
it's going to work because
But what I'm curious, will the button say because you chose Gemini or something like that?
No, it's not going to show. I mean,
Okay,
I work
that's
on the
fine.
front end for that. So if the user specify directly a model to be used, there's no router, right? The user just choosing, so there's no score for that. But what we might be able to present to you is something like this when something is routed, right? Not sure if you can see here. But maybe adding a Y button here and say, oh, we chose this model. There are other options as good as well. And the user might be able to click them and chose, re-asking that. We specify directly the model, so front end would inject the model for that, giving more freedom for the user.
And if the user specifies like you just did, it could say you chose Gemini in that pop-up, and it could still show other options about how they might compare.